Hello, welcome to my video. This is DM Bocephus from the Alangara Persistent Worlds. Um, Here with an intro video to tell you a little bit about our persistent world and why you should play it. Um, Basically, Neverwinter Nights is a graphical representation of the pen and paper game Dungeons and Dragons, and I think it runs off the 3.0 rules. There's different versions of Dungeons and Dragons 2.0 and 3.0 and 3.5. So I could be wrong. You can correct me in the comments. But Neverwinter Nights is a very old game. I think I started playing it in 2004, probably when it came out, because I was a fan of its predecessors, Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale. But basically, a company called Beamdog has bought the rights to all these games, and they've released new updated versions of them. And so we were really excited when they came out with the Enhanced Edition for Neverwinter Nights, because they updated a lot of the skins and added some. I think they're going to add some new classes. They're actually going to make updates to the game. One of the unique things about Neverwinter Nights is that it lets you create persistent worlds, which are not quite like massively multiplayer games, but they let you create custom content, player-created content, and run servers where you can join. And if you don't like one, the next one could be totally different. And so when I was playing many years ago, I came across one called Alangara. And Alangara is, I think, the result of an actual D&D pen and paper campaign. It takes place in the Inner Realms, and basically one of those players tried, or has pretty successfully recreated that campaign here on Neverwinter Nights with their persistent world. So I've logged into Alangara and created a dwarf. There he is running around. I just gave him wings. I was playing with these models here, but these models will let you customize your character. You can make wings or probably horns or certain modifications. I'm probably not going to play this character. I'm just fooling around in the OOC area. OOC stands for out of character. So if you see somebody join in here or start sending me messages, they may or may not be in character, so I just be prepared for that. Um, Terrason is the master of the server, the granddaddy, if you will. He builds the module, builds the worlds, creates the quests and monsters, and so if you see him on, you can feel free to ask him any questions about the server. But the server is in the list, the multiplayer list, under Alangara New Dawn. Probably it's going to be the only Alangara there. Um, what you'll need to play is the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. I do not think the earlier editions will let you play uh, with the new Enhanced Edition. You're going to need the community expansion pack. You can download that from their website. We can put a link to all this in the video. You'll have to look at the README file in the CEP download. It'll tell you how to actually install the CEP, and you'll want the override file, and that's going to be the custom stuff in the sign here that I've clicked on. Override files for real custom stuff. You're going to want this because it's going to boost your characters immensely. If you don't get this, if it lets you join the server, I don't know if it will or won't, but you're going to be stuck with the original Neverwinter Nights script, and you're just going to get annihilated by Terrason's evil bosses. And so then you're going to be contacting a DM saying, hey, can you let me re-level my character? I just finally got the override file. And we're going to say, why don't you have it to begin with? And we'll probably let you do it anyway. But before we get to all that nastiness and extra work, just go get the override file. You can find it on our website. It's not on the actual website, but there's a link to it in the forums. So you're going to probably need to create a forum account if you want to get to the override file. You can also find the server rules there and see some various old threads and discussions that people had. Um, all these signs talk about the different rules and tell you a lot of the stuff that I'm already saying. I'm not going to go into every class change there is. One, because I don't know it, to be very honest with you. But two is because this video is just a basic introduction to the game and introduction to Alangara. Basically, you go through the game as a player character, a class. I happen to pick a dwarf fighter who has wings, and you level up for killing monsters, and you get more powerful and more powerful as the game goes on. And even after you get to the max level, you can start over in some cases as a reborn character with heavily boosted stats. But you take a hit to learning or gaining XP. Um, so I guess one of the big questions people not familiar with Neverwinter Nights would have is, well, why should I play this game from 2004 rather than a massively multi player World of Warcraft or Neverwinter Online? There is a Neverwinter Online, which is different than Neverwinter Nights, um, or Elder Scrolls, any of them. There's two main reasons. One is because if you play this game for a while in Alangara in our persistent world and you see something that's not quite right or something that you'd like to change, you can just pop on our forums, suggest it, and we can alter the world based off your recommendation. I can still see things in here that I may have recommended back in 2007 that stuck, or because it is created and there's really no QA process, you may see bugs from time to time in quest scripts or dialogue, but all that can be fixed just by submitting it to the website, and you can see the world change based on your suggestions and ideas. Now, just because you want something does not mean that you'll get it. Obviously, if you want an instant death weapon that immediately kills anything, you're probably not going to get that. But anything within reason, if we think it adds to the gameplay or adds to the player experience, we're going to try to do that. In conjunction with that, I want to say the signs, if this looks like a lot of rules or a lot of reading, if you find that you want something that we're saying not to do, or something that you have a question about, you're not sure if it's quite legal on our server, just get in touch with us. Chances are, if you have a good roleplay reason to do it, we're going to let you do it, or come to some sort of compromise. So don't be frightened off by all these signs, in other words. What else? What was the other reason? Oh, the other reason is because when you're in a massively multiplayer game, you're going to join a lot of pickup groups, or what they call pugs, where you join to kill this boss and then you never see those people again. And here it's a much smaller player base. You may only have 10 to 20 different people on the server at a time, but as you play and group up with those people, you become it's usually always the same people, and you're going to become friendly with them, and you're going to have a little core group of friends that play the game with you, and that makes it much more exciting. If you're new to role playing, basically that means if I were to walk into the world right now and start talking to other players, I have to be able to explain to them why I'm a dwarf with wings from his perspective. I just made this for the video, but if I were going to play him, I'd have to have a reason for that, or maybe I don't want to tell them the reason for that. Maybe he has one and doesn't want anyone else to know. Either way, I'd have to role play it. So you're gonna want to try to stay in character as much as you can. If you see someone join and start talking to me out of character, it's generally because I have an established relationship with them, and we kind of go in and out of character at will. But it will add to the fun if you stay in character as much as possible, as well as possibly get you some DM rewards if they're creeping about and watching. The last thing I wanted to say is that even if you played Alangara before, and you know me, or you know Terrason, you're one of the Danish players, or you're one of the older US players, there's been a ton of changes. The module in the world doesn't react the way it did back in 2005. There's so much new stuff to do. There's new areas, new quests, new gems, new bounty system, new socketable. There it just goes on and on. TerraSun's really put a lot of work into it, and he's made a beautiful world, an evil, beautiful world that wants to kill you, but a beautiful world nonetheless. Um, So in closing, I want to say that for if you're watching this around the time the video is made, this is December 2018, we have a Christmas contest going on. So if you do log in and you do play for a while, you may win a prize out of our contest. And the prizes range from in-game currency to I think the grand prize is a custom house. So that means if you're familiar with the Aurora toolset, you can build a custom house and we'll put it in the game for you. Or if you're not familiar, you can describe something your character might like, and TerraSun will, to the best of his ability, generate the custom house for you and put it in the game. And it'll have, a permanent chest in there that you can store items in even when you're logged off. It'll have maybe some portals, various features. I don't even know what would be in this guy's house. So maybe a bunch of small furniture and a lot of ale. I've never tried to roleplay a dwarf, so I have no idea. Everybody that does it, they kind of tend to sound like pirates to me. So, but that's pretty much it. If you like our videos, subscribe to it. We're gonna try to do some more that show more of the actual combat or questing or experience or bounties, leveling up, that sort of thing. This is just a very basic introduction, and I've left so much out that you really have to come by and see it for yourself. But again, if you like the video, subscribe. That way you'll get notified if we do make more videos of that stuff. Thanks. Have a nice day.